Look into this cosmogram entitled The Perfect Mirror. Then tell me what you see. The Perfect Mirror, a cosmogram of universal interconnections. This image presents a complex cosmogram entitled The Perfect Mirror, which appears to be a multidimensional representation of reality through various philosophical, spiritual, and mathematical frameworks. The diagram offers a fascinating attempt to map the interconnected nature of existence, consciousness, and universal principles, the Ubuntu principle and pronoun relationships. At the top of the cosmogram sits the word Ubuntu, a significant philosophical concept from Southern African traditions. Ubuntu represents the philosophy of interconnectedness and shared humanity, often translated as I am, because we are one. This concept serves as the foundation for the entire framework, suggesting that all elements within the cosmogram reflect this fundamental principle of interconnection. Beneath Ubuntu, the cosmogram arranges pronouns in cascading layers: I, we, you, me, us, them, mine, ours, yours. This progression illustrates the expansion from individual identity to collective connection, embodying the Ubuntu philosophy by showing how personal pronouns naturally extend to include others, reflecting our interconnected existence. Dimensional categories of existence. The cosmogram organizes reality into 6 foundational categories arranged around a hexagonal central structure: when, where. Positioned at the top center, this category explores temporal and spatial dimensions through concepts like eternity, moment, history, presence, distance, absence, infinity, movement, location. These triads suggest that our experience of time and space encompasses both the immediate and the infinite. What? On the left side, this category examines the nature of being through self, imagination, universe, life, reproduction, biology, nature, regulation, behavior. This section bridges individual consciousness with broader natural systems and physical reality. Located at the bottom left, this section presents spiritual and familial archetypes: Father, Holy Spirit, Son, Parent, Virgin Birth, Child, Mother, Sacred Egg, Daughter. These relationships appear to integrate religious concepts with universal family structures and creation principles. Why? On the right side, this category explores purpose and existential conditions: fulfillment, sacrifice, longing, freedom, restriction, destiny, acceptance, condition, denial. These concepts address motivational forces and the paradoxical tensions that drive human experience. How? At the bottom right, this dimension explores epistemology and perception: context, interpretation, meaning reality, construction, perception, existence, sensation. Experience. This section addresses how we come to know and interpret reality through various cognitive frameworks. All at the bottom center, this category represents mathematical and relational principles: equality, operation, quantity, absolute, recursion, relative, wholeness, division, fraction. These concepts suggest that mathematical relationships may serve as fundamental patterns underlying all reality, the geometric core and mathematical expressions. At the center of the cosmogram lies a hexagonal structure containing a square with the numerical pattern 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 1. This pattern resembles a mathematical matrix or kernel, potentially representing fundamental numerical relationships that underlie reality. The bottom section features 3 mathematical visualizations. 1, 2, 4. A logarithmic spiral with numbers 1, 2, and 4. A vertical line marked with the number 4, a complex arrangement of overlapping circles with numbers 1, 2, and 4. The simple equation 1, 1, 2. These mathematical expressions may represent the fundamental patterns that govern natural processes, similar to how the mirror's in. Scientific instruments like LIGO or the Webb Space Telescope must achieve perfect precision to accurately reflect reality. 2-3. The mirror as a cosmological concept. The title The Perfect Mirror suggests that this cosmogram itself, functions as a reflective tool, not merely representing reality, but reflecting it in a way that reveals its interconnected nature. This mirrors the concept in quantum physics where observation affects the observed, creating a reflexive relationship between consciousness and reality. Like the advanced mirrors developed for scientific instruments that must achieve extraordinary precision to correctly represent distant cosmic phenomena. 4. 2. This cosmogram attempts to create a perfect reflection of universal principles through its intricate structure and relationships. Conclusion. The perfect mirror cosmogram presents a holistic framework for understanding reality through multiple dimensions of experience, from the personal to the universal, from the immediate to the eternal, from the singular to the plural. Its structure suggests that all aspects of existence are interconnected through patterns that can be understood through both philosophical contemplation and mathematical precision. The presence of Ubuntu at the pinnacle of this structure emphasizes that the fundamental principle underlying this cosmology is one of shared humanity and interconnection, that we exist because of our relationships with others and with the universe itself. Initial critique of the perfect mirror. The perfect mirror cosmogram attempts an ambitious synthesis of diverse philosophical, spiritual, and mathematical concepts within a structured framework. While visually appealing in its symmetry, the diagram suffers from several fundamental issues. The cosmogram juxtaposes disparate systems, Ubuntu philosophy, Christian Trinitarian concepts, mathematical patterns without establishing clear relationships between them, creating an impression of forced connections rather than organic synthesis. 2. The hexagonal structure imposes artificial boundaries between concepts that likely overlap and interact in reality, e.g., separating who from what when identity and essence are deeply intertwined. The numerical patterns 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 1 suggest mathematical foundationalism, but fail to demonstrate how these abstract relationships generate or explain the complex concepts they supposedly underpin. The diagram privileges certain religious perspectives, particularly Christian Trinitarian concepts, while claiming to present a universal framework. Critique of my critique. My initial critique reflects several biases. 1. It applies a Western analytical lens that prioritizes logical consistency and clear categorical distinctions, potentially missing intentional ambiguity or complementary contradictions. 2. It assumes integration and coherence are necessary virtues of the cosmogram, when its value might lie in juxtaposing seemingly disparate elements to provoke new connections. It neglects symbolic and aesthetic dimensions, focusing too narrowly on conceptual relationships rather than visual patterns. 4. It presumes universalist intent rather than considering the diagram might intentionally offer a partial perspective. Revised critique through new lens. Viewing the cosmogram with these insights. 1. The perfect mirror operates in the fertile space between structured categorization and fluid interconnection. Its hexagonal framework provides orientation points, while the content within each section explores boundaries between concepts. 2. The cosmogram presents diverse epistemological approaches, mathematical, relational, phenomenological, theological, suggesting that no single framework captures reality's fullness. This reflects the mirror metaphor. Different systems reflect different aspects of a complex whole. Mathematical patterns might represent dynamic processes rather than static truths. The central matrix 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 1 shows multiplication patterns that could symbolize how simple principles generate complexity. 4. Rather than hierarchy, the pronoun arrangement illustrates expanding circles of ethical concern, from self to community to others, embodying Ubuntu's principle that individual identity emerges through relationship. Metacritique of revised critique. My revised critique. 1. Swings too far toward generosity, potentially projecting sophisticated intentions where inconsistencies might exist. 2. Neglects practical dimensions of how such a cosmogram might function. Does it enable new insights, facilitate meditation, or guide ethical action? Overlooks cultural specificity, particularly regarding Ubuntu's contextual meaning. 4. Ignores whether the cosmogram achieves its apparent goal of creating a perfect mirror of reality. Final integrated critique. The perfect mirror represents an ambitious attempt to map interrelationships between multiple dimensions of experience. Its greatest strength lies in recognizing that reality cannot be adequately captured through any single framework, suggesting instead that understanding emerges through the interplay of perspectives. The Cosmogram's use of Ubuntu philosophy as an overarching principle grounds it in a relational ontology where identity emerges through connection. This provides ethical substance to what might otherwise be an abstract exercise. However, the Cosmogram faces inevitable challenges in integrating diverse knowledge systems. Some connections appear organic and illuminating, such as relationships between temporal concepts eternity, moment, history, and spatial. One's infinity, movement, location, while others seem forced or unclear, particularly in mathematical patterns lacking explicit explanation. As a contemplative tool, the Cosmogram offers multiple entry points for reflection on one's relationship to self, others, and cosmos. Its value lies not in providing definitive answers, but in creating structured space for questioning how different aspects of experience interrelate. The Cosmogram's aesthetic coherence, its symmetrical structure, and proportional relationships constitutes an implicit argument for underlying unity in diversity, suggesting that patterns of relationship may be perceived through aesthetic sensitivity as well as intellectual analysis. Ultimately, the perfect mirror reminds us that any attempt to create a comprehensive framework for understanding reality will necessarily remain partial. Its title may be its most profound insight, suggesting that our cosmological frameworks function not as objective representations, but as mirrors reflecting both the world and ourselves, revealing as much about the mapmaker as about what is mapped.